Severe storms are now colliding across America way faster than forecasters expected. Right now, somebody in Dallas is planning an outdoor Mother's Day event, while a dangerous squall line barrels straight toward the city. At the exact same moment, more than 100 weather records are on the verge of being shattered out west, and almost nobody is talking about the insane 60-degree temperature divide splitting the country in half tonight. Minnesota is dealing with freeze warnings, Phoenix is racing toward triple-digit heat, and violent storm outbreaks are erupting across Oklahoma, all at the same time this weekend. Stay with me, because around the 6-minute mark, I'm going to show you the Sunday afternoon setup that has meteorologists genuinely stunned. And before this update ends, I'll give you one late May date that could unleash the next major severe weather outbreak across the United States.
What makes this weekend so dangerous is that one massive atmospheric engine is driving completely opposite disasters simultaneously. The same system delivering freezing temperatures into Minnesota is also helping fuel tornado-producing storms in Oklahoma. One trough, one pattern, two extreme disasters unfolding over 1,000 miles apart. And when I pulled up this morning's data, one thing immediately jumped off the screen. 3 completely separate weather emergencies are happening across the country right now. Record-shattering heat in the west, violent, severe storms across the south, and dangerous freeze conditions in the north. One weekend, one pattern, absolute chaos. Now let me show you what's causing all of this, because once you understand the setup, this weekend suddenly becomes a whole lot more serious. A stubborn trough has been parked near Hudson Bay for nearly a week, pumping cold northwest air deep into the northern states. Meanwhile, a massive heat ridge is exploding over the western U.S., driving temperatures into record territory from California through the desert southwest. At the same time, an upper-level low spinning over West Texas has become a non-stop storm factory, launching wave after wave of severe weather energy into the plains and the south. That system has been relentless all week, and it is the main reason forecasters are increasingly alarmed heading into Mother's Day weekend. Severe weather is already beginning today. A level 2 out of 5 severe risk stretches across southeastern Kansas, eastern Oklahoma, and far northern Texas, while a broader marginal threat runs from the Gulf Coast all the way north into Missouri. The biggest threats today are damaging straight-line winds and large hail, but isolated tornadoes are absolutely possible. Oklahoma City and Tulsa could see storms erupt late this afternoon as daytime heating rapidly destabilizes the atmosphere. These storms could quickly become intense hail producers before shifting south overnight toward North Texas. Dallas, don't be shocked if thunder wakes you up around 1 or 2 in the morning tonight, as storms sweep through the area with heavy rain and dangerous lightning. Meanwhile, flooding concerns are growing rapidly along the I-10 and I-20 corridors. A stalled frontal boundary continues feeding rounds of torrential rain from central Texas into southern Arkansas, including areas near New Orleans, Gulfport, and Mobile. Some locations could easily pick up 2 to 3 inches of rain before Saturday morning, and flash flooding is becoming a real concern near the Mississippi River corridor. If you encounter flooded roads this weekend, turn around immediately. Do not risk it. Saturday's setup becomes even more unpredictable. The severe threat shifts westward into southwest Oklahoma and North Texas again, including the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. The atmosphere will likely be capped for much of the day, and that cap becomes the wild card. If it breaks, storms could explode rapidly with very little warning time. If it holds, conditions stay mostly cloudy with isolated showers. But everyone across North Texas needs to remain weather-aware all afternoon because this environment can flip dangerous extremely fast.
Houston and Beaumont continue dealing with heavy rain on top of already saturated ground, and flooding remains a serious concern through Saturday night. Farther north, another completely different weather emergency unfolds. The Dakotas, Minneapolis, and western Wisconsin are waking up to cold rain and freeze conditions. Frost and hard freeze warnings are very real this weekend. Sensitive vegetation and gardens could take damage if left uncovered overnight. This is not a minor spring cool-down anymore. It is cold enough to create agricultural impacts across parts of the upper Midwest.
But Sunday. Sunday is the day forecasters are watching most closely. When I first looked at Sunday afternoon's atmospheric setup this morning, the energy values honestly made me stop and stare for a second. The Southern Plains atmosphere is becoming dangerously loaded, the kind of setup capable of producing headline-making severe weather. Imagine a pressure cooker that has been building heat and instability all week long under a sealed lid. Sunday afternoon is when that lid finally blows open across Oklahoma and North Texas. The Storm Prediction Center is already monitoring the potential for rotating supercell thunderstorms capable of producing every severe weather hazard imaginable. Damaging winds, giant hail, tornadoes, all of it is on the table Sunday. A slight risk extends from Texarkana through Waco, Dallas, Fort Worth, and back toward Abilene. Any storm that develops ahead of the main line Sunday afternoon could become particularly tornado-capable, and that is exactly what has meteorologists leaning forward right now. Here's the timeline. Storms begin firing near Tulsa during peak afternoon heating before racing southward into Oklahoma and North Texas. By Sunday evening, storms organize into a dangerous squall line sweeping across east and central Texas before charging into Arkansas, Louisiana, and eventually Mississippi overnight. Straight-line winds between 60 and 70 miles per hour could become widespread along that line. Dallas and Fort Worth especially need weather alerts enabled all day Sunday because storms could intensify extremely quickly during the late afternoon and evening hours. If you have outdoor Mother's Day plans anywhere from Oklahoma through Texas and into the Mid-South, have a backup plan ready now. Atlanta could also see scattered storms and heavy rain extending into Monday. Meanwhile, Florida continues roasting under widespread 90-degree heat, with heat index values approaching triple digits.
And speaking of heat, the western U.S. weather story is becoming almost unbelievable. More than 20 daily heat records are expected to fall Monday alone, and forecasters say the heat is only beginning. Southern California is heading into widespread triple digits, lasting well into next week. Death Valley is forecast to approach 116 degrees. That is not a typo. Idaho could surge into the mid-90s, while Oregon and Washington see unusual early-season heat spreading northward. Heat advisories are already posted across parts of Southern California and the desert Southwest, and officials are warning residents to treat this like peak July conditions, not May. But here's the part that really matters long-term. All of this western heat is fueling the atmosphere for what could come later in May.
The hotter and more unstable the plains become, the more explosive future severe weather outbreaks can get once stronger systems arrive. West Texas and western Oklahoma may push toward triple digits next week, with heat index values near 110 degrees. That combination of heat and Gulf moisture is exactly the kind of setup that historically leads to dangerous late May tornado outbreaks. There is some good news. After Mother's Day, the current Canadian trough finally begins weakening, allowing temperatures across parts of the Midwest and Great Lakes to moderate. Minneapolis, Detroit, Green Bay, and Cleveland should all warm up noticeably by the middle of next week. But the atmosphere does not stay quiet for long. By midweek next week,
Another system begins diving into the plains with renewed severe weather potential from Oklahoma into Missouri. And next weekend, May 16th through the 17th, another strong Canadian system could ignite fresh severe weather risks across Kansas City, St. Louis, and the Missouri Valley. Now, here's the late May date you need to write down immediately. Around May 18th through May 25th, the western heat ridge shifts east, while the new trough digs into the southwest. That combination could ignite a powerful subtropical jet stream and unleash another major severe weather cycle across the central United States. Think about this carefully. Weeks of trapped heat, moisture, and atmospheric energy all waiting to be released at once. When that trigger arrives, the atmosphere may overcorrect violently and very fast. Texas could see multiple consecutive days of severe storms and flooding rains during that period, especially with already saturated ground conditions, increasing flood risks dramatically. At the same time, parts of Nevada, Utah, and Northern California may finally see meaningful moisture return. Heading into early June, the Midwest also remains locked into an active storm pattern, with repeated rain chances across Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, and Wisconsin. So here's the bottom line. If you are in Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Dallas, or anywhere across North Texas, keep your radar apps open today and especially Sunday. Severe storms could intensify from harmless-looking clouds to dangerous weather in under 20 minutes. Gulf Coast residents need to stay alert for flooding rains. The upper Midwest should prepare for frost and freeze impacts. And the Southwest needs to take this dangerous early-season heat seriously. One atmospheric engine is driving freeze warnings, violent storms, flooding rains, and record-breaking heat all at the exact same time this weekend. More than 100 records may fall. Winds could exceed 70 miles per hour Sunday evening. Tornadoes are possible. Triple-digit heat is spreading west. And around May 18th through the 20th, this entire pattern could intensify again in a major way. Write those dates down now. Stay alert, stay weather aware, and stay safe.